The Bardo Thodol, more widely known in the West as the Tibetan Book of the Dead, is a profound and enigmatic guide rooted in Tibetan Buddhism. It was created by Padmasambhava, also called Guru Rinpoche, a legendary figure who introduced Buddhism to Tibet in the 8th century. Padmasambhava, a highly realized spiritual master, sought not only to guide the living, but also to offer liberation to the dead. This text provides instructions on the stages of the soul's journey after death, emphasizing the potential for liberation even after the physical body's demise. Padmasambhava was a Mahasiddha, a realized yogi with extraordinary mystical powers. His teachings integrated Buddhist principles with the indigenous Bon religion, ensuring the survival of Buddhism in Tibet. Through his guidance, the Bardo Thodol was created to help individuals recognize the opportunity for spiritual liberation at the time of death. The central theme is that death is not an end, but a transitional state filled with potential for enlightenment. This guide was designed to prepare individuals for the moment of death, helping them traverse the bardos, transitional states, that follow. The Bardo Thodol explains three main bardos through which every soul passes: the Chikai Bardo, the Chonyid Bardo, and the Sidpa Bardo. 1. The Chikai Bardo, the moment of death. The Chikai Bardo is the first bardo, the moment of death itself. In this state, the soul experiences the dissolution of the physical body, and consciousness is freed from its material limitations. After this dissolution, the soul encounters the clear light, a dazzling, pure, and infinite radiance that represents the absolute nature of the mind. For those prepared spiritually, this light is a direct manifestation of their true nature and can lead to instant liberation, or nirvana. In this state, there is no fear, no duality, no attachment, just pure consciousness. If the soul recognizes the clear light as part of its essence, it attains enlightenment. However, for those unprepared, the experience may be terrifying, leading the soul to misunderstand the clear light and retreat into illusion, missing the opportunity for liberation. 2. The Chonyid Bardo, the Bardo of visions. If the soul does not recognize the clear light, it enters the Chonyid Bardo, the Bardo of visions. This phase is where the mind, now freed from the body, experiences vivid projections of its own inner state. These visions can appear as peaceful deities or wrathful ones, depending on the karmic tendencies and emotional residues accumulated in previous lifetimes. Peaceful visions represent the enlightened aspects of the mind, often appearing as Buddhas or Bodhisattvas, radiating serenity and benevolence. For the unprepared, these peaceful visions might be overwhelming or incomprehensible, causing confusion or fear. If the soul retreats from the peaceful visions, it may encounter the wrathful deities, which symbolize anger, fear, and repressed desires. These visions are not external beings, but projections of the soul's own unresolved emotional issues. The key to transcending this bardo is to recognize that all visions, whether peaceful or wrathful, are creations of the mind. The soul must understand that these projections are temporary and empty of inherent reality, a concept known as shunyata, or emptiness. For those able to remain detached and recognize the empty nature of these visions, liberation is possible. However, fear and attachment can cause the soul to cling to these visions, prolonging its journey in the cycle of samsara, or rebirth. 3. The Sidpa Bardo, the rebirth bardo. The final bardo, the Sidpa Bardo, is the stage where the soul chooses its next body. At this point, the soul's consciousness has already faced dissolution in visions, and now it is influenced by its accumulated karma, the sum total of all its actions, thoughts, and intentions from past lives. The Sidpa Bardo represents the soul's desire for rebirth, driven by attachments, fears, and desires that have not been resolved. The soul's karmic tendencies draw it towards specific circumstances that mirror its emotional state. During the Sidpa Bardo, the soul experiences a series of visions related to the process of conception and rebirth, such as images of couples in union, symbolizing the creation of new life. The soul, unconsciously driven by its karmic impulses, must choose a new body. However, the Bardo Thodol advises the soul to maintain awareness and detachment at this stage. By recognizing the visions as empty and understanding that they are not real, the soul can avoid being unconsciously drawn into an undesirable rebirth. Those who can maintain this detachment have the potential to transcend the cycle of rebirth entirely, merging once more with the clear light. For those who do not recognize the nature of these visions and remain attached to the cycle of desire, rebirth is inevitable. The body chosen in this stage will reflect the soul's unresolved issues and karmic tendencies. This process emphasizes that life and death are not separate. Rather, they are part of an interconnected cycle of choices shaped by the mind. The Sidpa Bardo is the final test for the soul. Will it continue to be caught in the cycle of rebirth, or will it achieve liberation? The key to passing this final test is to recognize that the visions, desires, and attachments that drive the desire for rebirth are all illusory. Those who are prepared can transcend this illusion and merge with the clear light, entering a state of liberation where there is no longer any cycle of death and rebirth. The path to liberation. The central message of the Bardo Thodol is that death is not a final end, but a transitional state that offers the possibility of liberation. Padmasambhava created this guide to help individuals face the moment of death and the afterlife with clarity, compassion, and wisdom. By understanding the three Bardos, one can see how spiritual preparation during life, through practices like meditation, contemplation on death, and detachment from illusions, can influence the soul's journey after death. The Bardo Thodol is not merely a manual for the dead. It is a guide to understanding the nature of the mind and reality itself. It teaches that our perceptions of life and death are often distorted by our attachments and fears. By practicing mindfulness and awareness, we can see beyond these illusions and recognize the inherent emptiness of all things. This realization leads to liberation from samsara, the endless cycle of birth and death. In Tibetan Buddhism, death is seen as an opportunity for spiritual growth. It is the moment when the soul has the chance to recognize its true nature and achieve liberation. But for most people, death is accompanied by confusion, fear, and attachment. The Bardo Thodol offers a map to navigate this confusing terrain, allowing individuals to prepare for death and, in doing so, to prepare for life. By contemplating the nature of death while alive, one can learn to live more fully, without attachment to the fleeting and impermanent aspects of existence. As the Bardo Thodol suggests, the key to liberation is the recognition of the clear light, the pure essence of the mind. This light is present throughout the Bardos, and if the soul can recognize it, whether in the Chikai Bardo, the Chonyad Bardo, or the Sitpa Bardo, liberation is possible. The teachings emphasize that liberation does not depend on rituals or external doctrines, but on the direct experience of the truth, a truth that lies within the nature of the mind itself. In the end, the Bardo Thodol is not just a religious text. It is a tool for self-awareness, a guide to understanding the nature of life, death, and the mind. It invites us to confront our fears, desires, and attachments, and in doing so, it offers the possibility of transcending the cycle of rebirth. By reflecting on these teachings, we can learn not only how to face death, but also how to live more fully with awareness, compassion, and a deeper understanding of our true nature. The ultimate question, as Ram Dass wisely put it, is, how much did you love? It is through love and understanding that we can unlock the mysteries of existence and achieve the liberation that the Bardo Thodol points to.